Chaim Hames, founder of the center, back when we received the first initial contribution from the State of Israel via the Israel Science Foundation 7 years ago. And the tradition was that the only way by which scholarship could really promote itself is not only by sitting secluded in each and every one's cubicle, but actually interacting scholarly. In that spirit, when we designed the center, we designed a shared space, and you can ask the people sitting in this room how much the shared space and the dialogue and the interaction between the scholars of respective, very different fields eventually kind of contributed to their presentation, to their understanding, to a deeper understanding of what they do, self-reflecting on what they do. The other thing is food. It seems it's comes without saying, but it doesn't. When we founded the center, I was very happy that I just came from a sabbatical in the United States where I spent time in a center in eating. Yeah, I ate myself. I completely ate. Yeah, it was all about eating. Professor Joe Weiler at the Tikva Center at NYU made it his business to put food on the table every day. And it was unbelievable to see how food connects people. Compania, true companionship. Over breaking the bread together, thinking together over food. Not only food for thought, but actual food. And when I said this to Chaim, he said, "You're preaching to the converted." At the center of the study of conversion, because this is what I believe in too. I came from England, from the tradition that there's a high table and there are shared meals, and things are supposed to be done over food. So in this respect, it's kind of different in Israeli academia. You may not know this, but Israeli academia is slightly more celibate in that way. There is food, but it's not in abundance, and it's always you need to persuade people that it's important. Here I don't think it was needed, and since we're about to go to food, bear that thought in mind. The last thing I want to talk about is collaboration, and it's been, we've been brewing this conference together over the past year, and the group at Oxford has been working on the themes. We have been working on these themes, and some of the themes that came up during the conference were aired probably in the seminar at Oxford as well as in our seminars here in Beersheba. And I'm very happy that we also managed to get people to collaborate and talk to one another and to share knowledge with one another. And as over food, I noticed that there were some fraternities being brewed as we were talking and as you were talking. So in the spirit of that collaboration, I think it's highly important that such gatherings take place when we are focused on a theme, even if the work is not done all year long together. Eventually, at an event like this, things can reach a climax, an intellectual climax that enables and fosters scholarship in ways that are not possible otherwise. And I thank Anna very much for being our partner in this. I want to thank all the participants for Oxford for taking the time and coming here. It's coming in this heat is also it's a task. So I appreciate your willingness to leave green England and come to the desert. But you know, in the desert, sometimes people get revelations. I certainly have been. I certainly had a revelation here at the desert. But going on that for a moment, we hope to continue this collaboration next year in Oxford, and I know that Anna's working very hard so that this would actually materialize, and I would like to hope that we will be able to continue this discussion either with this group or with another group of intellectuals, young, bright as yourselves, because this spirit of collaboration seems to be extremely, extremely fruitful. Before I hand over the mic to Anna, I want to thank Shirin, who very gallantly stepped in last week and managed to make sure that this conference would actually run flawlessly, regardless of the fact that she has not been part of the center till last week. I want to thank Raya, Evan, David, who you've all been in touch with, for making sure that Shirin can move into this area without completely losing her mind. And I want to thank all the participants of the steering committee from the Center for the Study of Conversion for helping us form the program for this center, for this conference, and giving a lot of support and a lot of attention to what has been going on here over the past few days. So thank you very much.
So I want to thank Effie very much for everything he's done. Our whole group is just, well, I mean, yes, we are well fed in Oxford, but not as good as this, I have to say. So we're very happy to be here, and it was not a hardship to come to the desert, as you put it. In fact, a bit of warmth is really very welcome when you come from England, so anyway, thanks for that. Just a few words. As you saw in your program, a colleague of mine should have been here as well, Martin Whittingham. I asked him to join the Abrahamic Seminar as an expert in Islam, and he has been a wonderful participant in all of our meetings. As some of you know, but I just want to explain to those who don't know, he lost his father a few weeks ago, and his old elderly mother broke her hip two days after the funeral. And Martin was very concerned, and I had an anguished email, and etc. And I wrote back and said, Martin, you have to do what you have to do. And but he's just sent me an email sending very best wishes to everyone. And it would have been his first time in Israel, so it's really very sad for him. So I just wanted to put that in place. Before I do some more thank yous, and just adding a bit to what Effie said, what I really liked, I liked everything, and I liked the collaboration. I think it's absolutely wonderful, and I like the way that we come from so many different topics and subjects and methodologies, and that somehow we were able to connect and see different things. And the way we've gone from incarnation to embodiment to cognitive experience, and then to society and back to body in all sorts of different ways, for me that's been incredibly inspiring. And I must say, when we were first thinking what our topic would be this year, Sacred Spaces, I didn't have embodiment in my mind. I really, really didn't. I didn't have that experiential idea. So I've certainly learned an enormous amount. And I like very much how so many of us are now looking at our own research through this new perspective of space. And I think we learn a great deal through that. So I think that is all very, very, very good and very fruitful. And I have to say, many a conference you go to, I think this is better because we really all have joined into something, we've worked on it together. And for me, this is very much a meeting of mind, which you don't always have in a conference. A conference can be very much sort of breezing in and out without that real making of a community. And I think what has made this also so much a community is that it's so cross-generational. So I mean, not age-wise necessarily, but academically. And I love it the way we've had a mixture of people in the first year of their DPhils, PhDs, to senior people talking and questioning. I think that's been absolutely marvelous. So I want to end with thanking Effie. I'll thank you again. When I said to Amitai, how wonderful you were, and we were messaging each other whether we were safe, And Amita said, well, yes, he's a commander. I said, no, he's a father figure. And we settled that, one can be both in one. I also want to thank Shireen and everybody else. And it's maybe too light to note. You might not expect that from somebody coming from Britain, but then again, I'm not that British. So I want to end by thanking Raya in her absence. And this is something British. We thought that would be a nice thing for her.
Thank you. Okay, folks, we are out for dinner. Please make sure you do not leave.